So welcome, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to get this show officially on the road. Happy Solstice.
That's it, and a happy solstice indeed. It is a bit of a funny one. I've had a few people ask about this, so I'm just going to sort of acknowledge it for tonight. Technically, at least here in the UK, the solstice is 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Tim and I felt really strongly guided that it was important to do the work that we're doing tonight before the full alignment.
Yeah.
And secondly, we're actually closer to the full alignment now than if we did it tomorrow night. Everything seemed to feel right for it tonight. So we get kind of 2 days of solstice awesomeness this year. I think it's extra special for that.
We do. We've got a big, juicy window of solstice energy to be working with. And one thing that I've noticed, and most of you in attendance will probably also kind of be in touch with, is the fact that when we actually reach these spiritual dates, when we immerse ourselves into them, very much like the equinox, very much like the Lionsgate, the pace of this year and the intensity of it generally means that the majority of the energetic work that we need to do has been done by the time that we sit down and we transmit in this way. I mean, it really has just been the most incredible year, David, hasn't it? It really has.
It has, and you're absolutely right about that. I mean, I was thinking earlier, like, so every month when I do my monthly newsletters, I like to sit down and channel a message for the month ahead. And I remember it was at the end of October, the message for November, where all my guides, it may actually even have been the month before that, I'll have to double check, but basically when they came through, they were saying purification, purification, purification. It's all about releasing as much as we possibly can at this time. And then, of course, I got a bit more information the next month, and it was leading up to the solstice. And, you know, Tim and I have both been talking about that a lot this month, that there's really been this push to let go of absolutely everything we can before tonight. So we have done an unbelievable amount of work. And so it's a perfect segue just to do the sixth monthly congratulations to you all for being awesome message that Tim and I like to do at these solstices, because it has been one serious journey that we've been on, and everyone has just done incredible. And, you know, I like to acknowledge that, because you all deserve a pat on the back.
Well done for surviving, everybody.
That's it. That is it.
Yeah, because it has been a little bit hang on by your fingernails this year at some points. I've been doing, I mean, you know, I've been doing this a while now. I've been immersing myself in ascension energies, tuning myself up, readying myself since before, I mean, probably since about 1996, like the real work began. And, you know, I thought I was in for a ride when I started working with the 12 chakras in 2003, 2004. Everything kicked off at the cosmic moment in 2012. But I have never experienced a year like the one that we've just worked through. It has just been absolutely, it's been one big, the way it was described to me is it's been one incessant transmission from the minute that we walked through the last December solstice up until now. So, you know, what happens? Where do we draw the line with this? When do the transmissions, when do the upgrades, when do the physical effects of what we're experiencing begin to become, you know, less of an issue with our reality? And when do we begin to start forging forwards and moving effectively, efficiently, and comfortably on this ascension pathway?
I was going to say we're getting very, very close now, until you said the word comfortably. And who knows on that one, because, you know, ascension, it's not an overnight thing. We know when this process started that it was a 20-year job, you know, and we are completing the 11th year now, which has a great deal of significance, because that is a power number. But the shift that we are going to see tonight, the don't want to give too many spoilers away because we've got some really lovely stuff to share in the meditation.
Yeah.
But the shift we are experiencing tonight is going to be truly incredible, and it's going to change the energy on this planet forever. And it's going to be a vibration that is in total alignment with those who are in alignment with universal truth, essentially, as Merlin said it, which, if you're here, you are. It's going to be an energy that's very supportive to us. And I think this year has been a big step towards that personally. Yes, it's still been a challenge. Yes, there's been a lot more clearing. But for me personally, I don't know how you feel about this, Tim, but the last sort of 10 years of this process felt like absolute chaos. And we were clearing left, right, and center, and there was this past life coming up, and this fear, and this block, and all that. And it just sent us into like a downward spiral of craziness. But I felt this year, although there's been challenges, there's been initiations, it felt more like a more defined path. That with each step we take, we're moving closer and closer to an end goal. And that, at least for me, kind of framed the whole thing in a slightly more positive aspect, because I felt like I was leveling up, for want of a better word. I felt like I was progressing towards something and actually getting somewhere.
Yeah. No, you've summarised it very nicely there, David, because it wasn't until very recently that I think that we instinctively knew exactly what we were doing and where we were going, because it has been utter chaos. I mean, if you look what we were dunked into at the beginning of 2020, I mean, you don't get any more 4D than what happened at the beginning of 2020. Just the unleashing of pure chaos in order to reform at a higher frequency. So all of the years that were leading up to 2020, by the time we got to, and I was thinking about this earlier, it was exactly 4 years ago, David, that we ran the Codes of the Solar Logos workshop with Birkin Tor, who's now Giselle. 4 years. And it was at that particular gateway that we realised that, I mean, I just could feel it. You could feel it. Everybody else could feel it. We'd got to the point where we were feeling pretty impatient. We were like, look, we've got these codes. Look, we've done this work. We've done that work. We're hearing all of this blah, blah, blah from the Ascended Masters constantly about this upcoming change in the shift. And then, bang, it happened. All right, events that took over around the world changed and reshaped everything unrecognisably at that particular time. As we moved into 2020, it released an incredible amount of fear, but also began to do a very useful job. And I was talking about this, and we discussed it the other day, David, the collapsing of the astral. Okay, so one message of like the deepest positivity that I'd like to kind of express as we move into this is that the work that we are doing is having such a profound effect. We've now managed to extricate the majority of us from what we would regard as the 3D matrix. Obviously, there's bits and pieces of us that we can't just remove ourselves and walk off into the 5D sunset, tempting though that is. But the things that kept us attached via fear, hypnosis, control, all of that are slowly being broken down, or not so slowly now as the information has been given to both of us. The actual acceleration or the detachment or the collapse of the astral has turned into an actual, it's a proper mission, it's happening, which is why a lot of us at the moment are feeling like we've been a little bit overburdened with negativity. There's been entity problems. Everybody's had entity. They shouldn't. Doesn't matter how much work you do. Everybody's wound up with one at some point over the course of this year. It's like getting a tick. You don't really want to admit it, especially if it's in your bum or something like that. But you've got to get it off. You've got to get rid of it, and you hope you don't get another one. And so all of these souls have kind of been wandering around us homeless. We've been doing extra alchemizing, as well as doing the job that we're doing of anchoring all of this new light in. And then October this year, the 22nd of October, the merging of the monads, the anchoring of the new light frequency and the templates, everything is indicating next year of a very, very strong forward moving year, but completely in support of the light. So we don't feel so much. I think this is what you were picking up on, David. We don't feel like we are a minority anymore. We don't feel like we're constantly like having to scrabble to retain our light and our frequency. Our frequency is up there. It's, we might drop it from time to time, but ultimately the light quotient that we're all collectively holding is very high. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to achieve what we're doing. The anchoring is off the charts. It's very intense. We're feeling it. But then look at yourself at this time last year, where you were before you walked into this kind of toothpaste tube effect that happened last December. And then we're just kind of catapulted out the other side in January, and bang, before you know it, 12 months has passed. It has just been so positive, but so intense. So next year we can look forward to having even more say so energetically on what occurs. That's the general overall feeling that I'm getting from this, that everything is now being handed over to those that can manage this planet effectively. And the souls that seek to control and do harm no longer have the fuel available to them to enact their nefarious plans. This is the bit that I really like. So a lot of the old matrix that we were attached to, that we were controlled by, used to be done so by sleight of hand, by magic, by doing things behind people's backs, but not really doing it behind their backs. Everything was an illusion. We can all see through that illusion now, and I think we might be taking it for granted how clear our sight is. But also, the magic that used to be very powerful is no longer powerful. Okay. So all of this kind of like, the stuff that people are frightened of, those that have control, they are losing their sources of energy as you are listening to these words, which is great. It's good news all round, basically.
I think you nailed that there, Tim, brilliantly. Thank you. I think one of the key distinctions about where we are now as opposed to last year's, we've been able to see through all of this for a long time now and seeing what's truly going on and separate it and avoid it. But the reality is now that most people are seeing it, whether they're talking it or not. We had that a massive awakening at the last solstice.
Yeah.
And although it might not seem, out in the streets that we're necessarily there yet, one of the big things that's happened as a result of that awakening is the masses are seeing through this stuff. They're getting bored of it. They're getting sick of it. The thing that's been holding us back this year, and it has been the theme for everyone, and Tim and I talked about this in the video that we did recently, is fear. For many, many of us, we've been facing our fears this year. And really, it's fear that's holding back the next step at the moment for the people to be able to stand forward and, en masse and say, no, this isn't right. I don't agree with this. I want to change something. It's fear that's holding the people back that are actually in places of power to bring change. But they're, have been indoctrinated in a system where they weren't allowed to speak out about these things and were fearful to do so. But the more and more we're clearing, the more we've raised the vibration of the planet, people are moving through these initiations, and more people are going to stand up and say no. And the more and more people that do that, and more people that don't buy into it, as Tim says, they lose their power. Their entire machine, the matrix, if you want, is fueled by people being plugged into it through that old alter major connection. That's one of the things that we had happen this year, was that mass disconnection planet-wide from the alter major chakras. That massively limited the power that they had. And at the moment they are a car that's running out of petrol and just very, starting to slow down bit by bit, and it's only a matter of time. It really is.
It is. Now, you touched on something which I would have forgotten to mention otherwise there, David, is the initiation of fear the fear release. That's something that's been very prominent this year. And I've noticed that so many people have gone through it, but they've gone through it in a way that would be obviously completely unique to their own ascension pathway, what they're going through. And that can manifest itself in any way. Me personally, it manifested its way in personal physical health. My entire year has been about physical health, having to take control of the way that I treat myself, the amount that I take on, what I put in my body, the things that I think, the words that I speak. Everything has had to reform at a higher frequency. Sometimes that means setting some tough boundaries, not just with myself, but with the world around me. And but it was a fear initiation. It was a very intensive one. So everybody here has gone through something that would indicate that when you go through these initiations, they can be incredibly intense and unpleasant. But on the other side of it, your frequency has risen. You have cleared the cache. It's a little bit like going and just removing all of the junk from your computer, if you want to think like that. And then everything runs much more smoothly. And another analogy is having your house rewired by an electrician. In many cases, and again, this is something that we've seen over the course of the year, people have been almost forced into a little bit of a case of shutdown. So I call it going dark. That's my terminology for it. All of a sudden, you're all singing, you're all dancing, lights are on, messages are coming in, everything's wonderful. Then, boff, it's like someone flicks a switch and your fuse board goes down. While that is occurring, and this is another common thing that many of us go through when we jump frequency rapidly and on a regular basis, like we've done this year, it's this going dark. While we're in that state, it can be very frustrating, frightening, like you wonder, like, where's my guides gone? Where's my help? Where's the people around me? I need assistance. And during that period of time, a rewiring is going on, and all of the old stuff's being pulled out of the system. It's being replaced, it's being rewired. And when the switch gets flicked back on at the other side of it, the current that is flowing through is of much, much higher a frequency. It's quite incredible, actually. And this has been really going on on a regular basis.
That's it. With everything that we clear, we are constantly, I call it leveling up, because that's what it feels like. We let go of a bit of density, whether it's a fear or a block or even just an old cord or something like that. And that space that has been cleared allows more light to come in.
Yeah.
That, of course, upgrades us ourselves, but all these different blocks will prevent other things from working as well. It might mean that your third eye is not working as well as it could be. Maybe your spiritual field isn't, you're missing some codes and things like that. Every time we clear something, new light comes in. And that, my team that I work with, Merlin, all of them say it over and over again to me. It comes up in all my workshops. If we could see us the way that they see us, we would be shocked at how different our energy is, in the clarity of it, the luminosity of it, how much it has increased. I often have these messages come through and it's like very, congratulating us on how well we've done. You can be sitting here when you've
dragging yourself across the path.
You can't lift your head off the bed, and I don't see it, but they do. And there's an unbelievable outpouring of love, compassion and pride I'm seeing a lot of at the moment. Like the angels, Merlin in particular, pride in all of us, how far that we've come on our journey, and that's why it's important to acknowledge that when we get to special dates like this, because the work that we've done, how many people in their lives, maybe they have a bad childhood or something like that and have particular issues that they face. And throughout their entire life, they never face it. They go into kind of like a downward spiral of health issues, bad eating, drug abuse, alcohol, whatever it is, because they never face what it is in their life. And that essentially becomes their life. The people, us here as a group, all of you have faced, I would say, in this year alone, countless, one thing after another, things, that could have been crippling with fear, horrific things from your past lives, whatever it is. You guys have faced them one after another, and you just keep getting stronger and stronger and taking on more and more challenges. And look at you, you guys are awesome. I can't overestimate that, that how proud of you should all be, and for showing up, whether it's our workshops or the videos that we do or just your own personal work, just for showing up and being here.
Well said,
It's
David.
an
Thank you
incredible
for that.
thing. I had a message from Claire, the Elohim of Purity, a few years ago, and one of the things that she said that's always stuck with me is like, change happens at the moment that you decide, committed by, I can't remember the exact words, but combined with your heart and your mind, when you truly commit to doing something, that is the moment you change your life. It's not in the, you've been working out for 3 months or eating well or whatever it is, that moment when you truly commit. And you guys do that constantly. You're at, this entire path, you've been committed to changing your lives. And that requires unbelievable strength.
It does.
Really does.
I was given a nice analogy for what this year has actually been like and how much we've achieved during this. To keep up with the pace of the universe at the rate that we have been moving for the last 12 months has been a little bit like allocating a beginner runner a couch. Say you've just taken up or you signed up for the couch to 5K, and you've just started getting into it, doing a few runs, doing a few miles. Then all of a sudden you're picked up by the scruff of the neck and dumped in an elite marathon. And you've got to keep up with these people. And that's a little bit energetically what it felt like, that we were picked up by the scruff of the neck and just dumped in this stream of frequencies that, yeah, okay, we agreed to do it, but I don't think we had any particular idea of just how fast moving this river and this flow of energy would be. And here we are, we're talking about it. At the end of it, we've done it. So
yeah,
brilliant.
And yet, the other side of that coin is when we started this process, this 20-year process, which quite frankly was probably quite optimistic and decided by an awful lot of beings who have never stepped foot on Earth. Yeah. But we are, by all predictions, moving faster than the 20-year window.
Yeah,
I mean, that is incredible.
33% faster, I think, is something like that, maybe even quicker. That we're going to be in the bandwidth of energy that was originally designated for 2032, way before that. Yeah. So that's how fast it's moving.
And people would normally take lifetimes to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, Tim and I will probably talk about it a little bit more at the end because it ties into something we're doing next year together. But for us here that are committed to this path and working on this, ascension is a really achievable goal. And when I say that, we talk about we're in the ascension process and we're moving to 5D. When I say that, I mean literal ascension, turning to light, becoming an ascended master. It is on the cards for us in this lifetime if we want it and if we go for it, because we are so supported in this energy and that we're moving through at such a rapid rate.
Yeah.
The amount of ascended masters on this planet in the next 50 years is probably going to increase more than it has done in thousands.
It's going to be quite a surprise. And another thing that's cropped up, and this wasn't going to be something that I was going to be talking about, is in our current lifetimes as well, we can start to expect to be able to receive the benefits of being able to expect more from our physical bodies. Now, I thought this was a really, really fascinating subject because we've all been programmed to basically be victims of our environment. And if you think about what the third dimension provided for us on a planet-wide, we're still extracting ourselves from it at the moment. Our bodies are now telling us that we have to change the food that we eat, the things that we drink, the As within, so without, the thought structures that we think, if we're constantly thinking or speaking negatively, we are programming the water within our bodies to hold that frequency, because water is utterly, completely programmable. So, with
Absolutely.
this new energy that's coming through at the moment, along with the extremely advanced healing techniques that are going to become available to us a little bit later down the line, there's no reason why we cannot start tuning into keeping ourselves within this incarnation for a lot longer than we were
Mm.
actually currently expecting. So we're not going to be living in these incredibly dense climates forever. Things are about as dense as they're going to get at the moment. You've got all the EMFs, you've got the perpetual kind of attempts to place food into our systems that is not actually supportive. But all of a sudden, the human body is just saying no. The human consciousness is saying no. I'm going to feed myself to support my light body. And sometimes that can be one of the most difficult changes that we make. I joke about my my love of junk food, or rather, I'm just being, like the self-admitted crappiest vegan on the planet, loving my sugary Ben and Jerry's ice cream after an event. Well, my body has told me to do one, basically. No
Mm.
more pots of sugar. Limiting the amount of coffee that I drink to a degree, although that's one thing I'm never going to give up, says he says. And just all of these other changes, if we learn to love the temple will exist for longer. It's common sense at the end of the day. It's logic. It's not a fantasy dreamed up by happy light workers. This is something that we are going to be actively embarking on, especially once we've moved into this incredibly kind of planet-wide collective consciousness of fifth dimension a little bit later down the line.
That's it. It's not uncommon to look back in history and see people that lived for thousands of years.
Mm.
It happened in the past. There's a really fascinating, someone more in the chat will probably know a lot more about this than I do, so I apologize if I get some facts wrong, but it's called the King's Stone. I think it's Sumerian, and it has a history of all of the kings and the years in which that they ruled with, and all of the names right at the first like thousands or hundreds of years that the individual kings ruled for, and then
Mm.
over time it just gets shorter and shorter and shorter periods because the energy changed.
Yeah.
The tools, the knowledge that people had available to them disappeared.
Mm.
Um, it's an incredible thing, and that is absolutely achievable again.
Yeah.
It's about the power of the mind. It's about the environment that we live in, and the way that we look after ourselves.
Yeah.
It all comes
Absolutely.
down to vibration and the speed in which your atoms are moving at. The reason why we age, the reasons why we get sick, is because the atoms, the electrons that spin around the atoms, slow down when our vibration drops. That happens from negative energies, from fear, from trauma, from bad food, from EMF. All of these different things slow down the rate of those electrons. You move
Absolutely.
out of those, you control your mind, you set your vibration, you can raise that to an unbelievable level, and then you start living a sci-fi life, and all sorts of things become possible that modern science say aren't. It's incredible.
Absolutely. Well, there's scientific evidence, if for those of us that trust the science that isn't kind of funded by money, like to have specific results. The human body initially was designed to live for 300 years. That's how the longevity of our organs
Mm.
set. But spending that tooth, particularly that extended period of time in the third dimension, has meant that the body has been programmed to basically give up all hope by kind of like by 100 years long gone sort of thing, or kind of in that general direction of flow. But that is not what we're designed to do. And this healing technology that we will eventually be privy to further down the line, that is coming back in from the Atlantean archives. We're also kind of going to be looking at the sources of that during the meditation, or the sources that maybe that we shouldn't be tapping into and where we should be going instead. because the first port of call for the retrieval of the higher frequency technology, the techniques that all of us are basically, it's our spiritual heritage. This is contained at a frequency that will be accessed collectively when we've all raised to the point where we can take responsibility for ourselves. It's not going to be handed over to a bunch of people that want a quick fix for the stuff that they've done to their own bodies. This is going to be genuine high frequency healing technology for those that are in touch with the aspects of their higher selves that are looking after themselves and doing the best that they can to be forward moving. So that might sound a little bit kind of drill sergeanty, but that's kind of what's coming in from the higher realms. Be responsible, raise your frequency, live by the heart on this planet, and all of this will become accessible when collectively we can use it without being irresponsible with it. And that's what the whole Atlantean retrieval system has always been about. It's about frequency.
That's it. Tim and I have both spoken a lot in the past about the soul star chakra and it being, a gateway back into our past life knowledge and wisdom. That's literally the kind of thing that is. There are people alive on this planet right now that have all of the plans, all the schematics, the complete understanding of how all of this stuff works and how to bring it into reality. They have it all, but it's locked away until they raise their vibration to the point that they can download that back again through their soul star chakra. We're going to see it happening.
We are. And on that note, my friend, I think we should take a little shuffle into our visualization. Now we're going to be doing. We're kind of. It's almost like a 4-tier meditation today, isn't it, David? And
just so much great stuff going on.
There is so much juicy stuff.
Loads in for you.
Yeah, but before we start, and many of you will have already heard me talking about this. I want to just define the difference, and this is something that many people are maybe a little bit confused about, or maybe a little bit unsure. One of the pieces of advice that I've been receiving for years and years and years is to step out of accessing and working with the Akashic records as much as we can, and begin to move our attention, our focus, and our working, our light working into the halls of Amenti. Because the halls of Amenti are where we have been recording all of our vibration, our information, what we're learning, what we're bringing through since we moved on to the other side of the cosmic moment. And Serapis Bey has been saying significantly that the Akashic records are records of the third dimension, beautiful, sacred archives of our journey through 3D, but we should only be going in there if we need to clear, release, or move on from something. So this is going to be part of the meditation that we are doing tonight.
That's it. And it's an interesting point in general, really, that things that were the way they were before 2012, when we had such a massive frequency jump, if they were energies or technologies or whatever that existed in that vibration, it's quite possible they are still operating at a third dimension unless they've been upgraded in some way. That is exactly why we've had so many new facets of the violet flame, because as our vibration rises, we get access to new, much higher vibrational tools to work with instead of the older ones. The latest versions of the violet flame of the One True Heart, in comparison to the violet flame people were working with in the 80s, is a vastly different tool in terms of vibration because of what we've got access to now. It's a bit like trying to use a computer from the 70s to try and do work
Windows
now.
98.
Yeah. That's it, so it's worth checking in with what you are using if it predated 2012 for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, right. We're going to dive in. So wherever you are in the world, relax and start to make yourselves comfortable. You might want to lie down for this. Grab a crystal. Doesn't have to be big or fancy. It could be a little dinky one, or it could be big. And just and prepare to tune in, my lovely souls. Now I'm just going to get my My text up, I'm going to take my camera off as you wanted me to, David.
Yep, I'm just going to put an image up on the screen as we do this. It's actually a piece of artwork that I channeled for the December solstice a few years ago. It's called Light of the Universe. It's just a depiction of light that was created at the very, very dawn of the universe.
Love it.
Very powerful high frequency light, which of course is the same as what we're receiving right now during the solstice. So just take a deep breath in now. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And again now, this time, as you exhale, just begin to allow your body to soften. Just softening your jaw, your neck, shoulders, your back, and your legs. Just allowing your whole body to relax now. And taking another deep breath in. And as you do this time, begin to focus on your heart center. And with each in-breath, see the beautiful, soft pink, white and gold of this energetic vortex begin to expand. With each breath, getting larger and brighter.
Now continue breathing as you allow the light of this chakra to expand out until it completely surrounds you. So take a deep breath in now. Breathing in, breathing out. Just allow yourself as you relax to feel the peace, the love, and the strength of your own incredible energy. Now, as you relax and breathe in the peaceful magnificence of your heart's vibration, you are approached by a vivid golden light. As the bright golden being approaches you, it begins to take the form of an angel, your guardian angel.
Your guardian angel has been by your side since the beginning of your soul's journey. And on this solstice day, your angel has a message for you. As it steps into your fields, it beams warm, Christed heart light directly into your heart center. Just feel this connection as the two of you begin to communicate, heart to heart.
Now, in a mixture of visual feelings and pictures and words, your angel speaks to you. Greetings, my beloved. It brings me great joy and angelic pride to witness you here in this frequency. You have travelled so far to reach this point, and your previous self is now part of your ascension history. The transition of Earth time brings another opportunity for all to step into another frequency, another timeline. And this means that we must be fastidious in what we leave and what we decide to take with us. So with your permission, I wish to activate your soul star so that we may proceed.
And with your grace, your guardian angel lights up your bright magenta blue soul star chakra that sits 18 inches above the top of your head. And immediately, bright blue portal of light begins to form in front of you. This shining portal seems to be powered via two sources, your heart and your soul star, and is creating an entrance point that is bright, illumined, and inviting. With a deep breath, you step into the shining entrance and are presented with the most magnificent sight.
So directly in front of you is the golden pathway that some of you are familiar with that leads into the halls of Amenti. But you may notice some distinctive changes to the layout. Immediately to the left, there is a golden staircase that descends to a very solid looking doorway guarded by two sentinels of Anubis. And ahead of you, the golden path leads straight ahead to a single doorway. The row of open and shut doors that have signified your previous life rooms are not visible or available. It is simply one way or the other.
Your angel looks at you as you take this in and then encourages you to walk forwards towards the single golden door at the end of the pathway. And as you walk it, you see that the door has a name upon it that reads, Serapis Bey's room. Please knock before you enter. You do as the sign instructs and knock tentatively on the door 3 times. You hear a muffled, Enter! Before the door swings open for you to step inside. Your angel immediately disappears to leave you to connect.
Serapis Bey is sat at a simple golden desk, working, and he is dressed in his white and golden robes. As you walk in, he bids you to sit down opposite him. I'm glad to see you, he says. That pile of soul contracts was getting a little bit tedious, and we need to talk.
Serapis Bey pushes the pile of golden parchments to one side and rubs his eyes for a moment before taking a deep breath and looking you up and down. At this point, you realize that life in the higher realms isn't all holidays and rainbows, as Serapis Bey is clearly immersed in a Menti office work that is taking him some time to plough through. He smiles though, and the atmosphere changes immediately.
Serapis Bey speaks again. I take it that you noticed the stairwell at the entrance to your portal, he asks. And you say that you did notice it. That entrance is to your Akashic records. Despite the sentinels, you have unlimited access to your Akash at any time. But I wish to propose something to you. As you may or may not know, the Akashic records discontinued to record your lifetime here from the point of the cosmic moment, as you changed frequency and you signed the contract to step onto the ascension pathway. From that moment, everything that you learned and experienced began to be logged in the master room in the halls of Amenti. It has been noted that many light workers are still working with the Akash as a means of raising their frequency, but this is beginning to create confusion and misguidance. It is important to shut the doors to the Akash unless a visit is of the utmost necessity.
You ask Serapis why this is the case, and he explains to you that all information encoded within the third dimension can only hold that frequency. The Akash should only be used for clearing past life attachments and can no longer be relied on for the retrieval of ascension information and gifts. Serapis finishes by stating, visits to the Akashic records should be done sparingly, with intention, and as infrequently as possible. I would wish to close all remaining unnecessary connections to your Akash before you walk through this powerful Solstice gateway. How do you feel about this? And do you agree?
Now, at this point, allow yourself a few moments to tell Serapis truthfully about how this sits with you, and if also whether you are happy to proceed. And now, if you have agreed to work with Serapis to close all unnecessary and defunct connections to the Akash, he stands and walks with you out of his room and into the hallway leading back to the entrance. As you step out, your guardian angel rejoins you, and the three of you head down the steps to the sentinels guarding the door. They immediately step aside and they allow you to enter.
As you step into your Akashic hall, you walk into the most beautiful space, filled with beings of light, flitting from bookshelf to bookshelf. Multiple rooms lead off from the main hall, and you notice how similar it looks to the halls of Amenti. All of the knowledge and experiences stored here are deeply sacred, but they are held at a much different frequency. You take a deep breath into your heart as you look around.
At the far end of the hall is a vast and important-looking Christed dragon. This dragon is one of the guardians of the Akash and also oversees the connections that are made to it. Serapis Bey leads you up to her, and she rises to her full height as she greets you heart to heart.
Serapis Bey speaks. This beloved soul of the light is checking out of the Akash and will request that all distorted and unused pathways are completely closed. Access will still be necessary under clearance or karmic circumstances. Would you please see that this is so?
And the vast golden dragon is silent for a moment before nodding. And she engulfs you in an incredibly bright golden light. Just breathe and relax. As you are immersed within this, you are immediately shown all of the threads that are still attached to your past lives. All of a sudden, multitudes of threads are released from you like guy ropes. First of all, slowly, and then you can feel them detaching from areas all over your bodies and your fields. Allow yourself a few moments now to witness this and also to give any stuck ones a helping hand. Just breathe and relax as this occurs.
Just scan your body as this is happening. Is there any of these cords sticking out of you that are not clearing yet? If they are, just give them a gentle tug and allow them to fall away. And once all the necessary ropes and cords have released themselves, you suddenly feel yourself floating up into a golden cloud. You can see nothing but gold as you are completely immersed in it. And this is deeply cleansing your bodies and fields, and allowing you to step into a totally new vibration of the most exquisite frequency of light. Just take time to breathe. Breathe in this golden light as you bathe in this incredible energy. You feel a release as this is happening. It's like your body sighing as these energies are clearing and letting go. Just allowing you to soften further still.
And just breathing and relaxing. You are completely surrounded in a bubble of golden dragon light. You feel lighter, free, and now ready to step into the next part of your journey.
After a few moments, this beautiful golden light begins to fade away and your vision adjusts. And you begin to realize you've been transported, and you find yourself standing alone in a small circular shaped room made of large white stone. Serapis and your guardian angel are no longer with you. As you look around, you see a table behind you, decorated with a white and gold runner, and placed upon the top is a large bowl made of solid gold and filled with beautifully clear water, with rose petals floating on the surface. A large candle next to it dimly lights this space. And a circular stone staircase leads down from the center of the room.
You feel drawn to wash your hands, your forearms, and your face before continuing on your journey. Just allow yourself a few moments to feel the water. It is cool and intensely purifying. And after washing, just begin your descent down the dark staircase. At the very top, a burning torch lights the way, and you lift it out of its sconce so that you may see where you are going as you traverse the stairs.
further down you travel, the warmer the air gets, until eventually you see a bright white light emanating from beneath you. As you reach the bottom and move through an archway, you come face to face with the source of the light. At the center of a large rectangular room are two incredible beings made of pure light. One roughly fits the shape of a female figure, and the other male, but both surrounded by moving, swirling, incredible white light. And they bow deeply before you as you enter the room.
The female voice speaks in a gentle and peaceful voice. I am the Lady Vesta, and I, Lord Helios, says the male figure. They then speak together in perfect, harmonious syncopation. We come to you today as guardians of the light that is bestowed from the great central sun. In accordance with the plans of the Great Father to offer unto you a mighty instruction, one that is of great importance to the next phase of this most beloved planet's development. Although the power of the heavens is only matched by its desire to see Mother Earth united in love and light once again, spiritual law prevents us from making this transition alone. You see, we are but one half of a team. You are the other half of that team, my beloved, and to bring the change our collective hearts desire, we must work together.
Helios then takes a step towards you and begins to speak on his own. This is what brings us to you today, my beloved. For us to work in harmony, we must all be working towards the same goal and understand the plan to achieve this. We must all have the tools available to us to help us achieve these goals. Vesta then steps forward and continues. We are here today to offer a great download, my beloved. Encoded light sent through the great solar gateway and collected from the great wisdom of all those who offer their assistance. Once again, they both speak in perfect unison. Within this download contains the gold print for the remaining years of this ascension process, as well as information about your own role within it. Within this package are the necessary keys and codes to activate your energetic systems with everything you need to fulfill this role. Although you may not be consciously aware of all of the details right away, as your frequency rises over the coming days, weeks, months, and even years, the relevant information will be unlocked within you as it is required. Do you accept this?
Helios and Vesta step aside to reveal a small 8-sided platform between them, and they hold their arms out as if to invite you to step upon it. Now, if you accept their invitation, please take your place.
As you step onto this platform, a beam of incredible white light opens up above you. You instantly feel a rush of energy as this begins to integrate. Just take a moment to settle into this energy. You may become aware of golden sparkles of light beginning to move down the column and entering your bodies and fields. You may feel a tingling sensation as this begins to settle. And then, one after another, the light begins to pulse. Every few seconds, as if the column of light expands, allowing something to flow through it, and then settles again. A few seconds later, another pulse. Just make a conscious choice here to accept this download. As it's entering your energetic systems, light is being diverted at high speeds, traveling to every part of you, moving to individual chakras, to either your physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual fields. The light is being integrated wherever it is needed. As this happens, you may see flashes, perhaps of the future of planet Earth, or of yourself and the role that you're moving into. Whatever you see, just accept this. This is a vision of the future to come. And know that whatever happens, you will be completely prepared for it. As this is continuing, Helios and Vesta begin to channel light into you. Helios is filling you with a perfect blueprint for the divine masculine. It does not matter if you are male or female in this incarnation, you can still receive this blueprint. And Vesta is installing the perfect vision for the divine feminine. And this is helping to bring you completely into balance between the two. Just accepting these gifts here now. And feel the love, the gratitude, and the trust that they are bestowed upon you with. And when they're finished, take a step back and just quickly scan your energy fields to ensure the integration is fully complete. And they both nod in agreement and help you to step down from the platform. The work is complete, my beloved, they say in perfect unison. As you may now be aware, incredible things are coming for planet Earth and its inhabitants. We are overjoyed to stand side by side with you as we work together to usher in a new age of peace, love, and generosity to the inhabitants of the beloved Mother Planet.
And they both bow deeply before you. So just take a moment now to thank Helios and Vesta for this powerful gift. And they thank you in return. And then they lead you to a simple wooden doorway at the back of the room.
And simple wooden doors have a habit of leading to special places in the higher realms. And this is no exception. As you step through this doorway, you walk straight into the incredible light of Archangel Metatron, who has been patiently waiting for you. He smiles at you with golden eyes, and before you have the chance to ask him what is going on, he spreads his wings wide.
Now take a deep breath in and breathe out. In the center of Archangel Metatron's chest is the most incredible sacred geometry. And you can see that this is the expanded version of his Metatron's cube. As you look in, you can see it is a completely solid room that is filled with the most incredible light, existing within Archangel Metatron. And as you look, as you are peering into this, you hear the voice of Archangel Metatron filling your heart and your mind. Beloved child, witness the source of my light, the inner sanctum of my heart. Can I invite you to join me within?
You agree, and as you do so, Archangel Metatron enfolds you in his mighty wings, and you are instantly transported to his inner sanctum, the light chamber of Metatron's heart. As you allow yourself to be completely enfolded, you step into a chamber of the brightest and the purest light that you have ever experienced.
Metatron speaks. You are now ready to receive light that is encoded for the 11th dimension. This light was used before only by the highest of the Atlantean priesthood, as they held the frequencies of the upper 5th dimension for the whole of Atlantis. Allow yourself now to relax completely and fully take this in.
As Metatron finishes speaking, the light around you switches frequency. It appears to be moving in liquid form around you as a unified spiral. Firstly, it touches your solar junction chakra high above your head. And as it does so, it begins to move down your antakarana bridge. As this occurs, you see your antakarana widening and strengthening so that you may take in more light and information from your monad. Take a deep breath in and relax as this happens.
And next, as the light begins to move down, it touches, lights up, and fully activates your stellar gateway chakra, a meter above the top of your head. This is Metatron's chakra. Just feel it lighting up, opening, and expanding.
And then allow the light to flow downwards again to your soul star chakra, about 18 inches above the top of your head. And see it completely cleansing and purifying this beautiful magenta blue energetic vortex, raising its frequency like never before in Metatron's incredible light.
And from the soul star, the light flows into your causal chakra. Your causal chakra being your connection to the divine. Feel this expanding exponentially. Feel your causal moving into a state of divine expansion. Just breathe and relax as this happens.
And then allowing the light to move down to the crown chakra at the top of your head. And see it expanding and opening up as it's completely purified. And it's allowing this incredible light to flow directly into your physical body. See it opening wide. In fact, so wide, the light begins to engulf your third eye chakra as well, completely unifying them into one incredibly powerful vortex, heightening your spiritual gifts and psychic senses.
And then the light continues to move further down still, bringing your attention to your Alta Major chakra at the back of your neck. Now feel any attachments, any vestiges of your connections to the third dimension being gently decoded, unplugged, deprogrammed and released. You might feel a little bit of activity maybe at the back of your neck, at the base of your skull, at the top of your spine. Just give permission for your Alta Major to utterly and completely free you of your previous bonds. Just breathe and relax as this happens. You might just feel a little bit of activity in there as this is going on.
And then allow the light to flow down to your throat chakra. Beautiful royal blue of this vortex. Allow it to soften the energy around your throat as the energy here completely purifies. And know that you can speak your truth with loving intent.
And the light flows further down, still touching and lighting up the blazing aquamarine of your higher heart before flowing into the chamber of your fifth dimensional heart center. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Breathe out and accept more light into your heart than it is ever contained before. Just feel it expanding into new higher frequencies as the 11th dimensional light opens your heart to the highest level ever. Breathe it in.
And then moving down to your golden yellow solar plexus chakra. Allow this incredible 11th dimensional light to to dissolve anything that does not belong to you, anything that does not serve your purpose. Completely dissolving any fear here and bringing it in alignment with this incredible light, direct light from Source. And this will bring it into alignment to search for more positive vibrational sources, to bring more light and more love into your life.
As you continue to breathe and relax, feel Archangel Metatron's light moving through the bright orange navel chakra, the soft rose pink of your sacral, and the platinum of your base. These three lower chakras that often need so much attention and so much cleansing, feel them being unified by this very high frequency light as it moves on down through, unifying the sacral to the base and the base to the navel, improving all of your relationships with those around you, clearing all of the past life patterns and densities and trials and tribulations that you may have received, and just allowing you the opportunity to bring your soul family closer to you. Breathe and relax as this happens.
And then this light moves down your legs, through your ankles, your feet, until your Earth Star sits 6 inches below the soles of your feet, fully lighting up and activating this hematite grey vortex and grounding you at a perfect level for you. And this is assisting you to hold this incredibly high vibration while still remaining grounded on Earth. And holding that highest aspect of you from your base chakra and bringing it down into the physical.
Now, as the light moves through you, feel it also strengthening and supporting your mental body and connecting you fully to the flow of information from your higher self. Just breathe and relax as this happens. Feel it also washing through your emotional body, releasing all and any remaining hooks and cords and attachments that may reside from previous astral akashic connections. Just allow yourself some space and some time now to let go of anything and everything that no longer serves you.
And your spiritual body is now utterly flooded with this incredible 11th dimensional light. And as it is, Archangel Metatron invites you to speak a decree with him. Say this either out loud or in your head with loving intent 3 times. By the power of my manifestation, with the might of the universe, I now decree that my density is replaced by living light. I now create a world vibrating with the light of the fifth dimension, which supports all beings in loving sovereignty. I declare my mastery as I step into my role as a representative of my highest self. As within, so without. As above, so below.
By the power of my manifestation, with the might of the universe, I now decree that my density is replaced by living light. I now create a world vibrating with the light of the fifth dimension, which supports all beings in loving sovereignty. I declare my mastery as I step into my role as a representative of my highest self. As within, so without, as above, so below.
And one final time now. By the power of my manifestation, with the might of the universe, I now decree that my density is replaced by living light. I now create a world vibrating with the light of the fifth dimension, which supports all beings in loving sovereignty. I declare my mastery as I step into my role as a representative of my highest self. As within, so without. As above, so below. It is so.
It is so. So as you complete the decree, Archangel Metatron tells you that it is time to exit his chamber of light, and he invites you to assist with the Solstice planetary work that is about to take place. He gently helps you to step out of his light chamber. As you exit, you experience a completely new vista as he releases you into the starry cosmos of the higher realms.
Do you find yourself floating gently in space, looking down upon our beautiful planet in all its glory? As you look out, you see a sea of millions of beautiful, sparkling, bright lights completely surrounding the planet. And these are angels, ascended masters, unicorns, dragons, extraterrestrials, and so much more. Incredible beings, all moving into position around the planet in preparation for what is about to come.
Now, as you look down upon Earth, you see a shimmering grid wrapped around the whole of the planet. It is almost holographic in nature. At times, it seems almost invisible. And then a flash moves across it, lighting up and travelling around the whole structure before fading away. As you look on in wonder at the incredible sight, you feel a familiar presence and turn to see the wonderful Ascended Master Merlin standing by your side. He is dressed today in purple robes and holds his tall wooden staff at his side. As you look down at his feet, you see he is hovering on a paper-thin metallic disc.
Greetings, my dear friend. I am overjoyed to see you here today, he says before embracing you in a warm, loving hug. Quite a sight to behold, isn't it? He says. This structure is being built on top of the existing Earth Macabre. It is a 120-sided geometric form. Each face has 12 sides, and at each corner we have been aligning the energy to a specific frequency to make it an anchor point. You see, what we are about to do will require a tremendous amount of energy. To make this possible, representatives from all across the universe have stepped forward to offer their assistance. Stars themselves are gladly giving their light to help make this momentous leap.
Merlin draws your attention to the closest core section of the grid to you. A team of angels are working away on one particular corner of this face, and they are channeling light into the structure. A few moments later, there is a blindingly bright flash that completely fills space itself, just for a moment, before it fades back down again.
That, my friend, was the anchor point for the Alcyone in the Pleiadian cluster. Just one of over 1,000 connections that have been made, Merlin says to you. And once the structure is fully activated in a moment, this will raise the frequency of the entire planet high enough in order to jump it from one dimension to another. You see, for countless eons, Earth has existed in a limited form. This was done in order to facilitate the required environment for understanding a third-dimensional society. Your Earth, however, has shed its limitations and is ready for the next phase of its ascension journey. I say your Earth, of course, because it is one of many when viewed from a multiversal standpoint. As your planet steps forward, other Earths will continue to be used as a third-dimensional training ground in other universes. In fact, the progression of yours is happening in perfect unison with another which is now ready to inhabit human life for the very first time. Your Earth, however, will no longer fulfill the role of teaching of limitation, but instead move to one of expansion. It shall become a place where souls come to discover their true heritage as sons and daughters of the great Godhead. It shall be a place to learn of the wonders of the heart and what it is to live in unity. It will be a training ground for ascension. Praise be, hallelujah. And you, my beloved, are not just one of the first to step foot upon its fertile soil, but you have been and shall continue to be instrumental in its birthing. Merlin reaches out his arm and places it on your shoulder and looks upon you with pride and compassion. Ah, I do believe we are ready to begin, he says.
Now you watch as groups of the incredible souls surrounding the planet begin to break off and move into their positions. A mixed team of incredible beings make their way to each and every corner of the shape and pause as if waiting for instruction. A feeling of gentle peace fills the air, as if a moment of calmness washes over you all before something truly beautiful happens. And then, in perfect unison, every single one of these teams begins to channel light directly into the structure. Instantaneously, a gentle hum begins to fill the air as the structure itself begins to glow, no longer invisible, it is taking on a solid form and expanding. The structure is growing brighter and brighter with each passing second. And as the intensity rises, so does the humming. Just really sense and feel this coming in. And then in a sudden burst, all around, incredible bright beams of light shoot out from each and every corner, every face of the structure. This light stretches far out into deep space. These are connecting all of the way back to the energy sources from which they have been aligned to. The light is travelling at such an incredible speed it could reach the other side of the universe in a matter of seconds. Moments later, the beams of light begin to pulse as they begin to draw energy back from their sources.
Just take a moment now to witness this incredible sight. Nothing like this has ever happened before in our universe and may never happen again. Beautiful beams of light in all different colours are connecting our tiny planet to the highest vibrational sources in our entire universe. And this light is flowing directly into the grid, which is now glowing so brightly that the light is flowing into the planet itself. And as this is happening, you begin to see the planet shifting, almost as if it's fading in and out.
And then as it increases, there is a massive bright flash of light. Witness this as it completely fills space. And all there is at this time is beautiful, iridescent, sparkling white light. The energy of this light is pure peace, like you have never felt it before. Breathe this into your lungs, feel it as part of you. Embrace it. And then it begins to just fade once again. And before you, you see our beautiful planet glowing with incredible golden light. And as Mother Earth reveals herself in this new frequency, tune into your perspective and your feeling, and how the vibration of Mother Earth is resonating with the frequency that you are holding within your heart. Feel for a few moments now your connection. Know also that you have been instrumental and part of this incredible work that is occurring. New structures, new energies, new beginnings, and an incredible quantity of beings of light from all around the universe coming to the planet, ready to work. Breathe this in. And within the clarity of your third eye, allow yourself to see the potential of the frequency of the planet that you are assisting with the ascension of. And in turn, she is assisting with the ascension of you.
As you look down across the surface, you may get flashes from the blueprints, the gold prints that you receive from Helios and Vesta. Holographic cities overlaid over the top of the physical ones that we know now. A representation of the plans for the future. As you're witnessing this, all of the beings are flooding down onto the surface, moving to various positions, helping to channel and anchor light as we lock in the earth at this new frequency. Just take a moment here to set your intent for what you wish to see for the new earth, for how you wish the people to be, how the planet should be. Create your vision for the future of planet Earth. And whilst you continue to hold this vision, Merlin taps you on the shoulder and you turn to see the most unbelievable sight. A dragon is moving towards you that is bigger than planet Earth itself. A massive golden crested dragon with a long and thin body. As it reaches the planet, it coils itself around Earth, almost cocooning it in a loving embrace. And Merlin says to you that this is the new Earth Guardian. And he is here to protect planet Earth, to protect the frequency that we've just established, to hold it at this new vibration, and assist in any way that is needed to establish the new golden age on Earth. Just witness this incredible sight. Merlin explains that the beings here are going to continue working, and will do for a while, anchoring this energy, assisting specific parts of the planet to step into the new vibration, the water, the air. The angels and the unicorns are going to all the animals, helping them individually with their adjustment. And as too with many of the souls of Earth who accept this light. This is a tremendous shift that we've just been through. But you can assist by just holding this vision of the world that you wish to create. And the world will respond to you because it is in harmony with you.
And now is the incredible giant golden dragon holding a multitude of frequencies Christed dragon light. The codes of Helios, the codes of Vesta, as this dragon makes itself comfortable moving around the earth. Just take a moment now to acknowledge and thank yourself and every single soul who has assisted with this incredible shift. And then look down upon the earth, your earth, and find the place where you started. Begin your journey back down to the surface. First to the country, then to the town, then to your building, wherever you may be. Coming back into your body now, fully, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You might even want to say the word unify as you step fully in.
And just take a moment to fully ground yourself and see how this feels. The earth has changed. See how it feels to be grounded into it. At this new higher vibration. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Welcome back, everybody.
Wow.
Happy solstice.
Happy solstice, everyone. Yeah.
Just allow yourself a few moments to come back in.
Grab some water, put it on the hand.
Yeah. Is everybody back? Everybody back? Coming back in brilliantly. Right. Nice one.
Okay.
Grounded, lots of water. Okay, that was powerful. The 11th dimensional light that you have been embodying within you, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Drink lots of water. I know that sounds like, old school information, but there has been so much information coming out recently about how much water is important for us. So when we take that quantity of light in, when we do that work, you physically need to take more water in. And of course, we've got all of this going on the planet around us now. It's been quite a celebration.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what unfolds from that.
It's going to be an interesting time now. Again, it reminds me a little bit of when the storm layer was first set up. These incredible projects go up around the planet and everything changes. So we expect change, expect moving on. So happy days.
Absolutely.
Yay.
So, whilst we've got you here, I'd love to just take the opportunity to tell you a little bit about something Tim and I have planned for next year. You may have seen it.
Away now, isn't it?
It's not a long way, no. Starting at the beginning of February, Tim and I are starting a 3-part course together called the Soul Reclamation Pathway. We're really excited about this. This is going to be really quite special.
So we're kicking this off in the spring, aren't we?
We are, and we are ending it on 5/5, which was completely accidental. We did not realize that at the time.
No.
But Melchizedek, the beloved Melchizedek, has stepped forward and offered us the opportunity to work directly with him on this 3-part series for basically a soul restoration We're going to be looking at kind of who we are at a soul level, where we came from, what our path is here on planet Earth, and then really anchoring that energy in.
Yeah.
But because of what we've just gone through, because of this massive shift with this solstice and the jump in frequency, we are able to do this now at a level that we have never had access to before.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really exciting opportunity.
It is. And once we move into this energy next year, we're going to be so ready to actually do what it says on the tin, soul reclamation. Yeah, anything that we've got that's wandered off that shouldn't have been, we're getting it back, basically. It's going to be an absolute banger of a series, so please join us.
It is. I'm going to put the link to that in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll also include it with the recording at the end.
And
Tim, I believe you've got something coming up in the new year as well, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Live. I've got
in
live
person
stuff coming up. I've got second of January. I'm presenting in Romsey, and on the 8th I'm with Alice Heath, and on the 11th I'm with Paul Debris Carey. So it's going to be real fresh out of the trap stuff. So
wow.
If you want to know more, take a look at my events page on www.timwild.com. Because it's going to be fast moving. January is set to be fast moving. That's how we're going to do it.
That's it. And I'll just give a quick shout as well. I've got an event on the 6th of January called Manifesting Your Perfect Year, where we're going to be. Yeah, that's it. Start off at the beginning of the new year in this incredible energy and really set our intent for what we want to get out of 2024. We're going to be working to clear some blocks to actually manifesting that, and the angels are going to be blessing that vision as well to help us create it at the highest possible level. That should be really fun and really excited for it. So I'll include the link for that as well if you want to check that out.
Brilliant. And if anybody wants to rehear the because we did it in the middle of that somewhere, we also did a decree, didn't we?
We did, yes.
Yeah, I'll send that over to you. But you'll already have it.
I've got that. Yeah, I can include that with the recording too.
Yeah, because that's well worth doing just to keep the light well packed into your body. So excellent. Lots to look forward to. I'll be there for yours, David. I love your events, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and I'm always at you.
Yeah, definitely. So from us to you, have a beautiful Christmas, however you celebrate it, and New Year. And we ain't going to be far away. We'll see you on the other side very soon.
Yeah, that's it. And thank you all so much for joining us and just being a part of this incredible night and adding your energy to it. And yeah, Tim and I absolutely love doing this. Look forward to it all year, and it's such a joy to share it with you.
Jolly good fun. It is good fun. It is good fun.
It is. Love it.
It makes all of the tough integration that we all inevitably go through so worthwhile when we see the results of it coming together like this. So thank you all.
That's it.
Brilliant.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
as always.
Thank you, brother. Love you all lots and lots, and we will
see you all, guys. We'll see you again very, very soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye.